Ty Bartell here with another edition of Player Profile. This time we go into Austintown Fitch. The ace of base, Ayla Ray, joins me today, along with Maddie Butis. We'll do a little 1-2 punch of Player Profile with the two of them. I guess the first question is, how are you guys doing right now, too, after practice and after a big win on Monday?
We're good. We're doing good.
Looking at your careers too and how fun this entire season has been, I always like to kind of start at chapter 1 of where these softball careers began, because that's when you guys first became in love with the sport too, and you first had your experiences with that. What's the earliest softball experience that you have, Ayla, that you can remember?
Probably playing at Mill Creek when I was like 8, playing at Mill Creek and just playing with all my friends there.
What was the most impactful thing, I guess, about the sport that made you stick with it for so long? That initial first love, what was it about the sport of softball that you fell in love with?
Probably just like the friendships that have came out of softball and that are still going on now.
I know you and your dad have a pretty big relationship too, as far as sports and such are concerned too. When you talk about your entire ride through softball too, how big of an influence has Ronald, your dad, been in your life?
Oh, he's been a huge impact. He's tried everything. He doesn't know the most about the sport. He's more of a basketball guy, but he's tried everything in his power to help me get where I am today.
We call you the ace of bases too because of your ability to hit for power now, hit all places on the field too, gap to gap. But in talking about all the highlights that you've had, only a junior so far too in your high school career, what are some of the biggest highlights that stick out in your mind too throughout your sport of softball that are some of your favorite in your career?
Definitely this season, the game I hit 2 home runs. I was not expecting that at all, and just I felt really hyped in that moment.
When we're talking about the home run production that you've had too, I've been impressed with it all season. I think I've asked you in a kind of a variation of ways too, where the power and where the pop has come from. What specifically have you worked on that has really improved your power game this year? And it's shown too, 5 home runs on the season.
I've been getting in a lot with my hitting coach, Bob Smith. He's helped me a lot in the off season and in the season, just working on my hitting and my power and just my mechanics in general.
I know you are quiet, tend to be quiet on the outside too, but you're pretty loud when it comes to the dugout. And that Falcon dugout is one of the loudest in the area too. What's that experience like, just being in that dugout, game in, game out, and being a part of one of the loudest ones in the area?
Yeah, it feels great, especially doing it with her. We try our best to be the loudest possible.
We are.
What is your guys' favorite dugout cheer? Because I know there's always one, and there's so many different ones that you guys have.
Pretty much so like everyone on the team either like has a boyfriend or like someone. So when they're up to bat, we always chant their name, and it always makes everyone laugh, and it's fun.
Coincidentally, too, it's like baseball players too. So I'm hearing
Yeah.
Falcon baseball players' names doing a softball game. Ayla, YSU too it was the site of this playoff game. YSU was the site of the regionals last year too, and YSU also now has a pretty special place in your heart too, as one of the commits too, and something that you were interested in continuing your softball career in. What was it about Youngstown State? What kind of drew you to it, and what is the excitement like knowing that you have these colleges seriously looking at you and you have that ability to play at the next level?
Just like being in the environment, it was a very positive environment. Everyone was very supportive, and it just felt great being there.
Was there a little bit of a Ronald connection with that too, with him being an alumni there too? Was there a little bit of a push too, or was he excited when you told him about it?
He was definitely excited. My mom also went there. That's where they met, so they were both pretty excited that I was going there.
I want to talk a little bit about certain points of this season too, and I kind of hinted at it in the broadcast yesterday, but it's almost poetic that you guys are back on the same field where it ended a year ago, and you guys get a chance to stay there. Talking about this season too, after being on last season's team, what were some of the biggest things you looked to yourselves to improve upon, and really wanted to come into this season being one of the leaders, now being a junior and upperclassman?
Definitely not getting in our heads, because I feel like last year that was our problem, listening to the outside noise. So just staying within ourselves and just trusting in our teammates that we can make it farther this year.
Being one of the juniors too, I know a lot of people look to you for probably hitting advice. They look to you for just leadership advice too, being one of the leaders on the team and leadoff hitter as well. When you talk about all the freshmen that are on this team and how productive these younger girls are, what's some of the advice that you've given to them or that they've come to you asking for? And what's kind of been the give and take with that with these freshmen?
I just tell them to go up there, be themselves, see the ball, and just believe in themselves when they get up there.
That's advice that you're giving to freshmen now. But when we're talking about advice that's been given to you throughout your softball career, what's one coach or what's a coach saying or who's, I guess, a coach that's given you impactful advice that stuck with you throughout your career?
Coach Bob always tells me to just go up there and do what I know how to do. So that advice sticks with me when I get up there.
Coach Bob.
Coach Bob Jones is an absolute legend too. His knee got taken out as well. You got part of softball court with that. Well, also, I mean, talking about softball court, that actually happened down in Myrtle Beach too. And I've asked all the softball players on Fitch this too, but I feel like I need to ask you as well because you've had the experiences there. With Myrtle Beach being that kind of chemistry, that bonding experience too, I know you guys have a lot of fun in between your games there. It's not all business down there. It's fun in between. How big is that point every season in gelling this team and bringing them together, especially when you have the new faces that are coming along each season?
It's great being able to bond with them off the field and just spending all the time with them in Myrtle. And yeah.
Looking at your defensive side of things too, in short, you've really improved your game. You've improved your arm strength on that. But I also know that you've played other positions defensively. What was it about shortstop though that you kind of keyed hold in on and said that this is where you wanted to be and where you wanted to continue to develop yourself in?
Coming in my freshman year when I was put at shortstop, I just took on the role, not thinking anything of it, not thinking that I'd be where I am now, but just working on it every practice and starting to get good at it. It worked out.
I mean, you look at all the hard work that you've put in, all the hard work that this team has put on in, and it's showing in the success on the field as well as off the field as well. But I guess for like newcomers and for the newer players that are in, they're kind of acclimated. They know what Fitch softball is all about. But I guess for outsiders or maybe even like younger players in the middle school levels that are looking at this and wondering if they should maybe continue their softball career into high school, what's some advice you would give to those younger girls? And what's kind of the culture like in Fitch softball too, to kind of give them a preview of it?
I feel like we're a very positive environment. We are always trying to have as much fun as possible, even when we are putting in the work. So I just feel like to just give it a chance.
When you look at softball throughout your life too, was there a player or maybe a high school player? What was some players that you looked up to that you kind of, I don't necessarily maybe followed in their some pieces and some pointers from them and you kind of liked what you saw?
Well, not that I just playing with Sydney when I was little, her work ethic is just incredible. So always playing with her, going to work with her, it's just been great and it has taught me how much work you should put into what you love.
And with Sydney too, she says that you are one of the only players that she has seen that can actually hit her rise ball too. And that's actually huge compliments to you. She's also touted you as one of the best hitters in the country. And that's saying something considering the type of talent that she has seen all around the country. What does that mean to hear that from a top level pitcher like that? And what does that do confidence wise for yourself, knowing that you can hit one of the top arms in the area?
It feels great knowing I got the recognition, but I just go day by day and keep doing what I know how to do.
When you talk about junior year, it's not complete yet. You guys are back in action tomorrow. You're going to be going up against Mentor for a district championship, chance to repeat now 2 for 2 in your career as well as one of an everyday starter. Looking at Mentor too, it's a second time around for you guys against this team. I know you just had a practice that you went through. What was kind of the highlights in that in facing a repeat opponent this season?
Just taking what we did last game and seeing how we can improve and what we need to work on. Yeah.
We look at the last 2 seasons for you. You led the team in average last year. You're leading the team in average this year. You're batting over 550. You have a 600 plus on base percentage. Just insane numbers all the way around. Where do you go from here? What's next for Ayla Ray? You still got a senior campaign. You still got the playoffs ahead of you. How do you improve from here, and where do you look to improve your game from here?
Definitely using small ball more in my career because now I'm just seen as hitting for power. So adding small ball to my game, I guess, would be a step.
As continuing to improve, I mean, you added the power to the game. I already have the speed, so all-around threat, no doubt, offensively, as you continue to develop your defensive game as well. Ayla, before we let you go and conclude this edition of Player Profile, I want to give you the chance to shout out the big impacts in your life, too, and shout out any of those big names that have been there along the way that we haven't gotten a chance to highlight yet.
Definitely my parents being with me throughout all my years of softball. Tommy Watts for coaching me ever since my first team and travel, and just all my friends supporting me.
Oh, Ayla, we're continuing to support you. We wish you the best of luck in your entire career and future endeavors as we look forward to seeing what more you can do in the sports you participate in. It's been an edition of Player Profile with the Ace of Bases, Ayla Ray.